Welcome back, episode 3, the Golden Era here on YouTube. I'm Marsh. We are looking at the 2020 to 2021 season. So the Raptors have just been crowned the Clippers have just been crowned NBA champions, beating the Raptors. Kawhi Leonard now 2 straight NBA Finals wins. Paul George is the Finals MVP. Let's start with the draft lottery. Talented top 3. You're familiar. Anthony Edwards, LaMelo Ball, James Wiseman. It's as everybody expected at the time. What's the cutoff from top down? Golden State is going to enter with the top odds. Pistons, Wolves, Cavs, and Knicks round out the top 5. Once we get to the lottery, though, it's a great night for Detroit and Charlotte. Detroit goes from 2 to 1. Charlotte from 8 all the way to number 2. The Warriors tumble down to 3. And the Spurs, who started at number 11, end up with the 4th overall pick. And then the Wolves round out the top 5. From there, we head to the draft itself. The Pistons with the number 1 pick. There's your lottery right there. Wizards, Blazers, Pelicans, Kings. That's your top 14. Again, this is a draft that we all expected LaMelo, Wiseman, and Anthony Edwards to be on the board. That's the debate over it. Certainly the Pistons at number 1. This is a non-Cade Cunningham world. They're still trying to figure things out. The Hornets with nothing. They don't have LaMelo Ball yet, obviously. And the Warriors trying to rebound. So what happens on draft night? LaMelo Ball goes number 1. He heads to Detroit. Number 2, the Hornets. Kind of bit of a surprise. They take James Wiseman with the second overall pick. That leaves Anthony Edwards still on the board for the Golden State Warriors. Again, Wiseman and Ball are highly touted at this point in time, and they're going to be big players in the next couple seasons. At number 4, the Spurs end up getting Cole Anthony. Some other notable picks, I'm not going to give you every single one because that'd just be time-consuming, but what you need to know, these are guys that either become stars or they factor in as role players that we just have to be familiar with from here on out. So, number 6, Cavs get Onyeka Okongwu. At 13, Tyrese Halliburton still manages to fall, still manages to end up being great. Dallas Mavericks, Isaac Okoro goes all the way to 19, and then Patrick Williams goes to the Thunder at number 21. Pretty light offseason. Not a lot of big names in the 2020-2021 lead-up. Notable signings, though. Brandon Ingram, he's going to return to New Orleans. Montrezl Harrell, he's going to return to the Clippers. Danilo Gallinari and Hassan Whiteside. I know these are actually names that matter in this universe. They sign with Utah and Miami. Let's move to the regular season, where Zion arrives in his second year. 32.1 points per game, an efficiency of 34.8, which is second only, unbelievably, to Giannis Antetokounmpo's 44.4 efficiency. So the Warriors, meanwhile, you remember they had that $17 million trade exception from the Andre Iguodala deal. So what they do with that is they work with Minnesota. They get James Johnson in town. Then they flip James Johnson and a 2021 first-round pick to Orlando for Aaron Gordon and a 2024. So that trade exception ends up getting a first-round back in 2024. Remember that? And Aaron Gordon, who they really needed a bigger wing. At this point, they do have Andrew Wiggins. Now they've got Aaron Gordon. Now they've got Draymond Green. They just added Anthony Edwards, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry. The Warriors are restacked, ready to rock and roll. Award season comes, though. It's Giannis getting MVP. Surprise absolutely nobody. He has a phenomenal season, 31.5 points, 17 rebounds. Rudy Gobert leads the NBA in rebounds as well with 17. They become the first 2 players since 1993-94 to average more than 17 boards. Pelicans get the top seed in the West, as we mentioned, a huge year from Zion. Heat get the top seed in the East. Warriors go number 2. Lakers, 41 and 41. They snag the 7th seed. It's the beginning of a troublesome time in Los Angeles for the Lakers. Meanwhile, 28 wins for the Rockets. James Harden and the Rockets just do not have a good run of it. Rest of your award winners, Defensive Player of the Year is Anthony Davis. Zion, unsurprisingly, gets MIP. 6th man, DeMarcus Cousins. He was actually traded at the trade deadline. He has this really great season for the Cavaliers. Gets dealt to the Lakers, where he continues to have a good season. Is a really valuable big man on that group. And then, of course, LaMelo Ball, Nabs, Rookie of the Year. Let's move to the playoffs. First round, still no major upsets as a result of this 5-game series. It'd be 5th seeded Jazz beating the Grizz in 5. So we've seen 5th seeds advance in each of the first 2 years under this 5-game format. Again, the Western Conference top seed has to go the distance of a full 5. That's the Pelicans. The Warriors beat the Lakers in 3 straight games Curry over LeBron in maybe the last gasp of that one. Meanwhile, though, the Clips, they advance. They beat the Nuggets. They square off in an epic 7-game series in the conference finals. The Warriors have to come back from down 3-2. Meanwhile, the Jazz, Donovan Mitchell, they beat the Pelicans, and we get the first of what ends up being a really solid rivalry, Warriors-Jazz in the conference finals, where the Warriors break through. They get a trip to the NBA Finals. We're waiting for them. Are the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks kind of stormed through. They beat the Cavs. They beat the Nets. That's a Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving Nets squad. Then they face off against, I'm looking at the wrong side, the Bulls. Then they beat the Celtics, and they meet the Heat. The Heat had gone through, beat the Cavs, beat the Nets. That's a Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving Nets. Jimmy Butler gets them to the conference finals where they fall in 6. So it's Warriors and it's Bucks. Giannis finally breaks through that, doesn't have to play the Raptors because they were handily beat by the Celtics in the first round. And that's where we get to our NBA Finals. From there, Steph Curry is back on top. 6 games. They beat the Bucks. Steph Curry gets Finals MVP. They fall down 1-0 in this one before they win 3 games in a row. Steph Curry, 56 points in Game 2, 54 in the deciding Game 6. He joins Michael Jordan and Allen Iverson as the only players in NBA history to have multiple 50-point games in the same series, and he's the only player with multiple 50-point games in one NBA Finals. Meanwhile, Giannis was far from not good in this one. 31.3 points per game for a Bucks team that ultimately falls short. But 2021, the year of the return, the year of the Warriors, they're back on top. NBA champ Steph Curry gets his first Finals MVP. 21-22 season coming up next.